Indian economy predicted to grow by 7.5%. Experts says it could be time for Western CEOs to learn some lessons from their Indian counterparts. While Western economy continues to stutter, a report forecast India will soon return to the high growth trajectory it enjoyed before the crisis. At the same time, a new research published after a long research shows the heads of India's biggest companies have a very different approach to leadership from Western bosses. A professor of management at University of Pennsylvania was one of the researchers behind the study. Based on interview with leaders and HR departments from 98 of India's 150 biggest companies, he identified some of the key difference between Indian and Western bosses. Number 1. Social purpose. In terms of lessons for managers elsewhere, one of the most important things is that Indian leaders lead with a sense of social purpose. Every Indian leader interviewed gave a specific social purpose as being the goal of their business. Those purposes range from improving healthcare in India to getting cell phones to people who don't have access to communication tools, and providing to the international community that Indian companies can lead in IT. Having a social purpose really motivates workers. If you can articulate a social purpose for your organization and take it seriously, it can have real benefits. Number 2, invest in employees. Indian firms invest an enormous amount in their employees, training and development. IT firms typically allocate 60 days of formal training for new hires, and companies often spend months training even experienced workers hired from the other firms. The study said that US firms have largely abandoned investing in employees, seeing it as a waste if they leave the business. It adds the employees' turnover is estimated to be 30% in India. And investing in employees ensures the quality of those who stay at company. Subramanian Ramadurai, the former head of Tata Consultancy Services, said of his company's success, "It's all about human capital at the end of the day." Third, take the long view. Indian bosses place far less emphasis on shareholders than is typical at Western businesses. As a result, they are more able to take a long-term view. A lot of US companies in particular will say, "We are not going to meet our quarterly numbers, so we have got to adjust everything in the pipeline to make sure we do." That's a costly thing for the long term. Western companies can just ignore their shareholders, but their CEOs can do more to buffer their employees from the short-term financial pressures, letting them get on with their jobs. 4. Work from strengths. Companies often think about strategies in terms of chasing customers or pursuing market opportunities, but Indian firms will more often start by identifying their strengths, identifying their customers' need, and then try to meet those needs. Indian companies do that by taking smart, motivated people, really engaging them and investing in them, and letting them loose to just beat on those problems, often with just trial and error approaches until they come out with a solution that's kind of out of the box. Jagdish Khattar, former managing director of automaker Maruti Udyog, told the researchers, "Throw issues to them, let them examine and come back to you with solution." 5. Act as a role model. One of the things these leaders all said was more important to them than shareholders' value was a personal role model for their employees, which is an amazing thing for an executive to say. By thinking of themselves as role models, Western bosses could have a real impact on their workers. You could get a lot done by acting as if people are watching your behavior in all kinds of dimensions and taking that seriously.
If people are watching what you do, is what you are doing really what you want your employees to be doing?